Oh, hey. Hey, what do you guys like? I think you still owe me 5 bucks. Oh, no, I remember very well. No, not really. Oh. This is too boring. I'm gonna quit.
Then the rest of us will have to stop too. Have you done your homework, Melchior?
Just keep playing.
Where are you going?
For a walk.
It's awfully dark.
Have you done the homework already?
Damn this homework.
Only the Latin paper was to do tomorrow too.
And there's nothing you can think about without homework getting in the way.
I'm going home. I've got homework.
Me too. Good night, Melchior.
Sleep well. What I'd like to know is, what are we doing in this world anyway?
As far as I'm concerned, I'd rather be a cab horse. What do we go to school for? So they can give us exams. And what do they give us exams for? So we can flunk. 7 of us needs to flunk, if not only because the upstairs classroom doesn't hold more than 60. I've just been feeling so peculiar since Christmas. I tell you, if it wasn't for my father, I'd pack a bag tonight and go to Altona Harbor.
Let's talk about something else. Huh?
You see that cat with its tail in the air over there?
Do you believe in omens?
I'm not sure. I don't think it means anything.
This is a Charybdis that I think everyone falls into if they've managed to avoid the scylla of religious superstition. Let's sit down under the beech tree. There's a warm spring wind blowing over the mountains. I'd like to be a young dryad now and spend the whole long night rocking and swinging in the highest treetops.
Unbutton your vest, Melchior.
The way it makes your clothes puff out.
Gosh, it's so dark. I can barely see a hand in front of my face. In fact, where are you? Don't you agree, Melchior, that a person's sense of shame is merely a product of his upbringing?
I was giving this some thought just the day before yesterday. No matter what, the feeling does seem to be deeply rooted in human nature. Imagine, for example, that you were supposed to take off all of your clothes in front of your best friend. You wouldn't do it unless he was doing it himself at the same time. I guess it's also more or less a fashion thing.
Hey, I've been thinking that when I have children, little boys and little girls, I'm going to have them start off sleeping in the same room, and if possible, the same bed. They'll help each other get dressed and undressed every morning and every night, and when it's hot out, they won't wear anything except for wool tunics and leather belts. Seems to me that if they grow up this way, they're bound to be more relaxed as a rule.
That's definitely my opinion, Moritz. The only question is, what happens when your girls start having babies?
What do you mean having babies?
Well, in this regard, I believe in certain instincts. I believe, for example, that if you take a male cat and a female cat and you shut them up together when they're still young and you keep them completely isolated from all contact with the outside world, that is, if you leave them entirely to their own inclinations, that sooner or later the female is going to get pregnant, even though neither she nor the male had anyone whose example they could follow.
I guess with animals it just happens.
All the more so with people, is what I think. Listen, Moritz, if your boys are sleeping in the very same bed with your girls when they start feeling their first masculine stirrings, then I'll bet you...
You may be right about that, but still.
And when your girls reach the appropriate age, it would be exactly the same with them. Not that a girl is exactly, there's obviously no telling what, Still, it's reasonable to assume that... And you can count on curiosity to play its part as well.
One question, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Sure you'll answer?
Of course.
You promise?
Cross my heart. Yes, Moritz?
Have you finished the essay yet?
Oh, come on! Spit it out. No one's listening. No one can see us.
Well, it goes without saying that my children will spend their days working in the lawn or the garden, or amusing themselves with games that entail physical exertion. They'll ride, climb, do gymnastics, and above all, not sleep in hard beds at night like we do. Because we are terribly soft. I don't think you dream at all if you sleep in a hard bed.
From now until the harvest, I'm not sleeping on anything but my hammock. I put my bed behind the stove, it folds up. Last winter, I had this dream where I whipped our Lolo until he couldn't move a single limb. It's the single most horrid thing I ever dreamed. Why are you giving me that funny look?
Have you been feeling them?
What?
How'd you put it?
Masculine stirrings? I sure have.
Me too.
It's been on for quite a while now, in fact, almost a year.
Well, it hit me like a bolt of lightning.
You've been dreaming?
Only a little bit. I saw a pair of tights that were trying, well, it's more important to say I thought they were trying to climb over a podium at school, but I only saw it for a second though.
Lamermeyer dreamed about his mother
He told you that?
over on Gallows Hill.
If you'd known what I've suffered since that night.
Pangs of guilt?
Pangs of guilt? The fear of death? Lord, I thought it was incurable. I thought it was suffering from some sort of internal injury. Yes, Melchior, the only thing that brought me back was writing my memoirs. The last 3 weeks have been a Gethsemane to me.
When it happened to me, I was more or less prepared for it. A little ashamed, but that was all.
You're almost a full year younger than me, too.
That, Moritz, I wouldn't worry about. To the best of my knowledge, there's no definite age limit for the first appearance of these phantoms. Hey, you know the big Georg Zirschnitz kid with the straw blonde hair and the hook nose? He's, what, 3 years older than me? According to Hunch and Relov, he still doesn't dream about anything but sponge cake and apricot jelly.
Oh, please. How can Hunch know a thing like that?
He asked him.
He asked? I wouldn't dare ask anybody.
You asked me.
You're right. It's possible Hunch already had his will drawn up. It's truly a strange game that they play with us, and we're expected to be grateful? I don't remember ever feeling a longing for this kind of emotional turmoil. Why couldn't they have just let me sleep for a little while longer when everything was quiet again? My parents, they could have had a million better children than me, and now I'm here, and I don't know how, and I'm supposed to be responsible for not having stayed away? Don't you ever think of this, Melchior, how we landed in this whirlpool?
You mean you still don't know, Moritz?
How can I be expected to know? I see chickens lay eggs, and I hear how my mother supposedly carried me under her heart. But is that all there is to it? I remember when I was 5 years old, I got so embarrassed every time someone pulled up the Queen of Hearts with her décolletage. I don't feel that way anymore, but now there's hardly a girl I can talk to without thinking something abominable. And I tell you, Melchior, I don't know what.
I'll tell you all about it. Some of it I've gotten from books, some from illustrations, and some from my own observations of nature. You'd be surprised, it immediately made an atheist of me. I wanted to tell Lamermeyer about it too. Lamermeyer wanted to tell Hunch and Relov, but Hunch and Relov had already learned it all from his governess when he was little, and
I went through Myers Abridged from A to Z. Words. Nothing but words, words, and more words. Not a single straightforward explanation. What's the point of an encyclopedia that doesn't answer the most basic question about life?
Have you ever seen two dogs running across the street?
No! Better not tell me anything tonight, Melchior. Some Central American Louis XV, the lines from Homer, the Latin paper hanging over my head. I'll be falling on my butt all day again tomorrow. The only way I know how to grind is to be as dull as an ox.
Just come back to my room with me. In 45 minutes, I'll have the Homer, the equations, and 2 papers. I'll mix a couple of minor mistakes into yours, and you're all set. Mama will make us some more lemonade, and we'll have a nice, cozy talk about
I
reproduction.
can't have a nice, cozy talk about reproduction. You want to do me a favor? Write down everything you know for me. Be as short and as clear as possible, and stick it in between my books during gym tomorrow. I'll take it home without knowing I have it, come across it unexpectedly, be forced to glance through it. And if it's absolutely unavoidable, maybe you could add some illustrations?
You're like a girl. Anything you say, though, it's the only work that completely interests me. One question, Moritz. Have you ever seen a girl?
Yes!
Completely, though?
Totally!
So have I. Illustrations won't be necessary then.
The shooting matches at the Lix Anatomical Museum. If they would have caught me, they would have thrown me out of school. As pretty as the light of day and so lifelike.
Last summer, I was with Mama in Frankfurt. We went to the... You're leaving already, Moritz?
I have homework. Good night.
See you later.